in the offices here at 37 Johnson Street in Wobble Wobble, we've got Ray and Casey and Michael, myself, Helen, Dolph, Jan, Robert. Online, we've got Jason, and then to anybody else who is watching online, thank you very much for joining the Scma AGM, and it'll be a nice, quick meeting, but we'll get over it.
Jason, can you just say something? We just want to check the stream is going through for you too.
Hi, I'm here, and I do have a neat beard as well.
Yep, that's confirmed. Thanks, Jason. So officially welcome everybody and open and call for apologies.
Hayden.
Yep.
Joseph.
And I was actually speaking to Bruce Ferrier yesterday, and so he, and when I said I was coming up the AGM, he said pass on his best wishes, and so we'll put Bruce down as well.
Yep.
Anybody else that we know of that we've been advised? No,
Did Artie put in an apology?
Now, Michael, do you want to explain about the minutes of the previous meeting?
Yes, I can. The minutes of the previous meeting, due to our constitution, we're actually able to do it as an online recording, and that is actually available on our website or on our YouTube channel. The actual previous 3 AGMs, I think. So I'll move that the previous minutes be as per the actual recorded video.
Yes. Second Dolph. All in favour?
Right.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And it certainly does make life so much easier.
And this year we'll get transcripts because Google does it now.
Oh,
hey? Yeah.
Wow.
We'll transcribe the whole thing. Okay.
President's report, just very briefly to say another very challenging year, not only for broadcasting but also for the Scma, and how grateful that I am, and I know a number of Scma members are, that the health challenges that Ray has continued to have haven't kicked him off the list yet. But he's still here.
Turn that camera around so you can see what you're doing.
It's not.
Because that's one of the things that is very precious about the Scma. It's the combined knowledge that we have around this table and within the sector, but that's very much linked to the knowledge, the personal network that Ray has built up over the years. And not only has he always been ably assisted by Casey, and there's lots of times when as a little kid we go, oh, for goodness sake, Ray, you know, but here she is. Casey's grown into this incredible young woman, and not only is she an able assistant with her father, but also has taken on the extra role of carer as well. So, Casey, a huge thank you to you, because that continuity of knowledge is really important. We were also challenged with Adrian.
It's just a message from the dark side.
Very good. We're also challenged with the setup of RCMA, which was a secret project that Ray and Michael had been working on for many years, was finally launched at the last conference officially, and was all very exciting and going incredibly well. And then Adrian somehow or another must have spent too much time with Ray, and he ended up in hospital following a heart attack. Stroke. And, well, no apologies, I should know better. But Michael, I'll get you to you'll sort of cover that with the report, with the RCMA report that's coming up a little bit later on. So that project is still operating, and we're really happy about that, but it's perhaps a little bit slower than what we were all very excited about after the last AGM. There have been a number of changes that have happened with our banking as a result of the RCMA, and I will report that as part of the President's report, because it's something that maybe other stations need to be aware of, to just if you've been going for a long time, that it's a really good idea to just review all of the documentation, whether it's your official name that is recorded, with the tax office. What's the official name that your relative state body, for example, in Victoria Consumer Affairs, in New South Wales, it's a different name.
Department of
Fair Trading. Whichever state body that you're with, just make sure that all of those things all align, because that's one of the things that happened from when SCMA's bank account was originally set up all those years ago. As it turns out, it didn't actually align with the original constitution, which was the Southern Community of
Southern New South Wales.
New South Wales, but it was the full word in New South Wales, not NSW. So there's all those little things. So a project that we will be working on and probably have a special AGM a little bit later on next year will be to address and realign all of those. We were hoping to have that done for this year, but just health issues have perhaps run us on a little bit longer than what we would have liked. But it's been a really interesting opportunity for us to get all of those things together and really evaluate, what our names are. But even something as simple as registering RCMA, it was sent in, all the appropriate paperwork was done, but the actual official information online has got all of the things with lowercase letters, but the Australia at the end of it has got a capital letter, and you go, what do you have to do to get all of that right? So just for all of the stations to bear that in mind. Thankfully, again, due to the incredible dedication of Ray pestering everybody, the conference last year was an outstanding success. And what's even more exciting is, as a result of the youth participation last year, there's exciting things that Casey's working on with the youth project. And so we're really looking forward to see how that all goes. So thank you to everybody who has been around the table and has attended presidents' meetings and workshops and meetings, and the fantastic thing of being able to have the online presence that Michael generated has meant that, as directors, we're able to have meetings, which is great, and the opportunity is there for anybody that wants to participate. As long as you've got access to the internet, we will make sure that you can. So, thank you. CEO's report. For some reason, it's all been typed up, and Casey's going to read it.
I'm now going to change my voice.
So 2019 has been a steady as you go kind of year. We've got a lot of new developments happening for the SCMA. The obvious exception being the launch of RCMA after several years of hard work, but there'll be more about that in the RCMA report. The establishment of offices for SCMA has been a worthwhile experiment that 6 months down the track we need to reassess to see if there's a variable option. The 2020 conference planning is well underway, and we're excited to see how this conference will be accepted by the membership, as we've worked hard to ensure a bright and informative conference. The 2020 conference will be held at the Waterloo RSL Club. As usual, the SCMA will be holding a boot camp on the Friday of the conference. The boot camp for the 2020 conference will be a bit different to the previous year's conferences, as it will be starting a bit earlier and covering more content to ensure that you and your station are getting the most out of your learning experience. As well as looking at the introduction of new workshop presenters, we've also introduced a new category to the X Awards. This category being the best in-house production of and presentation by presenters 25 years or below. This is a massive step forward for not only the SCMA, but the community radio sector, as we're encouraging and listening to the youth and young adults that are passionate about community radio. The Radio Yaya initiative is in its early stages, but we are seeing some great involvement by youth and young adults. Radio Yaya has been a work in progress behind the scenes of the SCMA since the 2018 conference, where it was clear that youth and young adults needed a louder voice. The Radio Yaya initiative was created for those involved in community radio that is 35 years and under. As the SCMA is constantly evolving, there is no time like the present right now for member stations to become more involved in the planning and execution of SCMA projects. We're always interested in hearing from people who wish to contribute to the growth and development of the Southern Community Association.
Thank you very much, Casey.
Well read. Anybody thinks to be on radio.
And you didn't actually embellish. Ray would have embellished.
No, we didn't.
Anything you want to add?
No.
Thank you very much, Casey. And Jason, you have sent through your email with the Treasurer's report. Would you like to now formally present your Treasurer's report?
I can do. So the report, the board has seen the P&L and profit and loss prior, but I've also included it in this report as well, so it's all in one document. I'll try not to embellish, but there have been some challenges this year, including my home PC and the connection to the remote server, board meetings, etc., dying after its long death, but now back online with a laptop, which has been great and being a bit more remote, and untangling PayPal and identifying what's coming through PayPal, which was a bit difficult at the start, but we've managed to get on top of that now. We just probably need to remind stations when they're actually putting payments from PayPal to identify whether it's membership or conference or exactly what it's for, just to help us do that a bit. Online payments via Bendigo Bank we now have, and when we get invoices in, it's just a matter of picking up the phone, dialing into that and paying them. So it's made our payments to our suppliers and financial obligations a lot more efficient. We did some enhanced reporting as part of our obligations to the CBF as part of our sector funding received for the annual Regional, Rural and Sub-Metro Broadcasters Conference, providing an accurate picture of the actual costs of holding the conference each year, both in actual expenses and in kind. This has hopefully provided the CBF with increased awareness on how much time Ray, Casey, Michael and our volunteer presenters put into the organisation and running of this annual event. The opportunities of the RCMA in increasing the financial stability of both the SCMA and our sector as a whole can only provide benefits to all who engage with this initiative. My thanks to the board as a whole, and especially Ray, Helen and Michael for their support this year. And I will delve into the financials because it's a bit easy to read on the spreadsheet. So as of the end of the current year, we had a negative income of 1,360. Part of that is some of the memberships coming through in PayPal have actually come down into the bank this financial year, so that will come into this financial year and weigh itself out. So not necessarily doom and gloom, but it will work its way out through our financial statements this year. And our balance sheet as of the end of this year, in the bank, 32,945 with approximately 20,000 of receivables. Some of that will be cleared out being old accounts. And our current equity in the association of 43,599.14 on the balance sheet, with liabilities of some accounts payable, which is some old stuff we've got to clear out progressively through QuickBooks, but we'll notify that to the board to clear up what we can and what we want to retain in there.
Thanks, Jason. Really appreciate that. And for anybody that is listening, the report that was done for the CBF we've always known the incredible contribution that's been done by volunteers, but to actually quantify that was a really good exercise to do. So thank you to everybody that was involved in helping that, because it pretty much was a joint project. Jason, can I just clarify with regards to where we are with the GST?
Okay, the GST we can activate now. We were getting everything up to date to move across to QuickBooks Online. That is a monthly expense, so it's a monthly subscription, like the offices we've got. I was holding off on that a little bit because we obviously haven't had a lot come in through RCMA at the moment.
Yep.
So not wanting to incur an expense that for something that we're getting by with at the moment, but as soon as we need that, that's really quick to activate that. Just a matter of putting it on the debit card, moving the files over, and we'll be online.
Yep.
So it is a quick exercise, but if we're not requiring it at the moment, it's an expense we can potentially do without.
Yeah. No, well done, Jason, because it's great to have all of that all streamlined. And probably we should publicly say a big thank you to Tim Graham at the Bendigo Bank as well. He's been a great asset. We're getting a lot of things done. I cannot tell you how many times I had conversations with him with variations to make sure that not only we complied with what he needed at the bank, but also with the changes in the bank checking everything, he had to keep checking everything up with his managers until we got it absolutely spot on. So it's now all done. It's been a really worthwhile exercise. He was terrific to deal with. Jason, thank you. So you move your report?
Yep.
Brilliant. Someone second it? Michael? Okay. Michael, RCMA report.
Thank you. The RCMA kicked off this year with great fanfare at the conference, and we had Adrian lined up, and it was going pretty well. He had a list of probably 50 or 60 clients which he had contacted, and we had positive feedback from that.
Essential, amazing data.
Yeah, that's right. We had everything prepared. We were all the stats. We had everything right to go, and he was actually starting to make inroads with RCMA. And then all of a sudden, he had quite a large stroke, and now he's still recovering, and he's unable to, unfortunately, return to work. So that kind of put a big dent in the progress for a while. We're starting to get back on track now. We've had 2 approaches already, so to 2 multinationals. So unfortunately, we weren't successful, but that doesn't mean that we won't be. And we've actually got another salesperson now engaged with this, so I'm actually having another meeting with her next week. But she's fairly active in that role, which is really good. And Adrian, I'm pleased to say, is still involved with the RCMA and helping out where he can. So, because he wants to see it through, because it was all of his work originally, so which is good. And so at the moment, we've kind of had 3 months of nothing, then we started to build up again. We've had a couple of clients do that, and then we've actually had a local client here that Barb, who's the new salesperson, actually was asking to be able to sell on camera. So we've actually had contacts there for locals into external areas. So, so the next thing for the RCMA is to just start hitting back onto the list that Adrian had already done, and for us to actually go out and hit all the radio stations to get them to sign up. So, but in the last 2 months, 3 months, what's happened is when we've got a request come back for like a package, they will say, like for example, the Canberra area, then I'll go back to our list of all the radio stations and we'll contact them. I sent Ray a list of people, he went and contacted them with the rates, and then we went back. So they weren't with RCMA initially, but obviously very happy to join if we get any money out of it. So I think we're going to have a bit of a 2-pronged approach where we actually target the people we need for the areas we need, and we also basically then just go on a blanket campaign to get people on board as well. But we are still over the wood now. We were around about 38, we're at around about 42 now, people registered with the RCMA. And that's without pushing everything. So although it hasn't turned any money over, I expect we will probably start turning money over next year. Yeah. So, yep. And I will submit that as my report.
Brilliant. Someone like to second that?
Yeah.
Thanks, Tracy. All in favour? Absolutely. Yes, very much so. Now, declaration of election. Officially, this time around, there were 3 people that were their term had finished. So that was Hayden, Artie, and Michael. Ray, would you like to deal with the election, please?
Certainly. As you said, there was 3 people up for election. Michael re-nominated. Hayden has chosen to remain involved with SCMA, but not at board level. And I'm not really sure. I think Artie's going to remain involved with the SCMA. I think he may have just missed the nomination deadline, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on with Artie. We have to have a chat. However, the bottom line is there was one nomination received, so there was no need to hold an election. So Michael is re-elected onto the board of SCMA.
Thank you all.
And at this,
Wow, a round of applause.
and at this point, we have 2 casual vacancies, which the board can appoint at any time at the board's discretion. So that's where we're at with the election.
Beautiful, thanks, Ray. And thank you, Michael. Public officer. Who has, I apologise, who has been our public officer? It's been you, Ray?
Yeah.
You happy to remain
I would,
public officer?
yeah, right, for this year.
Yeah.
I'd like to step down next year, so if someone could.
Well, what about if we just go as part of this year, this next 6 months, that we just work through all of the things that we need to in regard to the constitution changes and those sorts of things, and we look to have someone work with you on that will then take on the public officer's role.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Do we want to nominate someone at this stage, or we'll have chats with people after?
We'll force someone into it later.
Okay. And that officially is the end of the AGM. So thank you very much, everybody, for your attendance, and we look forward to seeing you all, if not beforehand, at the conference in Wagga on the March. I know it's March. March 22.
13th to 15th,
Sorry, 13th to 15th.
I think.
March.
Or was that this year?
I just said March.
Okay, so March 2020, and you'll hear lots of information about that in the next month. So thank you very much, everyone.